Is the cause of that clunking sound in my truck. When that clunk gets your attention, every truck owner knows that feeling. You're driving along, maybe over a bump or shifting the gear when you suddenly hear it, a deep, hollow clunk from underneath your vehicle. It might come and go, but one thing is for sure, it's not normal. A clunking noise in your trucks is your truck's way of telling you that something isn't right. It usually means a part that's supposed to move smoothly is worn out, loosened, or broken. Whether it's a suspension, steering, drivetrain, or mounts, ignoring that sound can lead to even more wear, worse performance, and potentially unsafe driving conditions. The guide that breaks this guide breaks down what causes clunking sounds in trucks. So, what a clunking sound actually means. Clunk is a low, solid impact noise caused by looseness or a sudden movement between components that should be tight and steady. It's not the same as squealing or grinding. Those are continuous friction noises. A clunk means impact, and impact means movement where there shouldn't be any. Most clunks come from one of four systems: your suspension and steering components, drivetrain and power transfer systems, engine and transmission mounts, brake or frame attachments. And the key to diagnosis is noting when the sound happens. Clunk over bumps normally means suspension issue. Clunk while turning, steering, or control arms. Clunk when accelerating or braking, normally drivetrain or mounts. Clunk while shifting gears, U-joints or transmission mounts. The suspension system is the most common source of clunks. It could be your ball joints. That definitely can manifest like uneven tire wear, loose steering, noise over uneven roads. Need to replace the worn joint or joints before it causes steering loss or tire misalignment. Control arm bushings normally clunk during acceleration, braking, or bumps. Sway bar links normally clunk when cornering, decreased handling stability. Shocks and struts normally have a bouncy ride, fluid leak, or uneven tire wear, or they're basically just over 75,000 miles old. Steering components, when turning makes noise, could be the tie rod ends. The tie rod ends connect the steering rack to the wheels. When they loosen, you'll feel clay in the steering and hear a knock or clunk as the wheels catch when they catch up with the steering input. So it's loose steering and uneven tire wear. Steering rack mounts. So rubber rack mounts hold the steering gear in place. When they wear out, the rack moves under the pressure, producing a dull clunk through the steering column. Intermediate shaft U-joint. The joint connects the steering wheel to the rack. When it seizes or wears, you'll feel a clicking or clunking sensation during steering movement. And then your drivetrain, the power behind the clunk. If your truck clunks when you shift, accelerate, or decelerate, the problem likely lies within the drivetrain, the system transferring power from your engine to your wheels. U-joints, universal joints, allow your drive shaft to flex with suspension travel. When they dry out or wear, they create a sharp clunk each time the torque changes direction. Symptom, which is the clunk when shifting into drive or reverse vibration at high speeds. Then you have your drive shaft slip yoke. The slip yokes let your drive shaft move as the suspension travels. A worn or dry slip yoke can cause a thump when taking off or stopping. And then you've got differential backlash. When the differential gears wear, they develop too much clearance, resulting in a metallic clunk when you transition from accelerating to coasting. Then you got transmission or transfer case mounts. If mounts crack or collapse, drivetrain components can shift during torque changes, creating a dull thud or a knock. And engine and transmission mounts. Engine and transmission mounts secure your powertrain and isolate vibration. Over time, rubber mounts deteriorate, allowing the engine to shift slightly under torque. That will give you a clunking during acceleration or braking, vibration in the cab, engine movement when revving. Result, stress on exhaust joints, wiring, and hoses. Replacing mounts early keeps your truck's powertrain stable and smooth. Then you get the brake system. So you can have loose caliper bolts, worn pad shims or retainers. You can have warped rotors. Definitely need to get the brakes insured and keep them inspected. I mean, you definitely need to keep the brakes inspected at least every 5,000 miles. And then you got frame, exhaust, and body. Not every clunk comes from a complex mechanical failure. Sometimes it's something simple. Exhaust hangers and shields. It could be spare tire or bed hardware. It could be body mount bushings. And, you definitely need to, when you're going to diagnose it, you need to take a very systematic approach. Know when it happens, turning, braking, accelerating, bumps. Locate the sound, front, rear, center of the truck. Perform a bounce test, push down on each corner. Excessive movements means worn shocks. And by the way, if your shocks ever get so bad that it doesn't pass the bounce test, that is so not good for your vehicle. It's not even funny. Check for looseness. Wiggle the drive shaft, steering linkage, or suspension arms. Schedule a professional inspection. Please schedule a professional inspection. And then you just don't ignore it. If the longer you ignore it, the worse it's going to be. And you can definitely do some preventive maintenance, or better yet, have the shop do the preventive maintenance. Lubricate the U-joints, the suspension joints, especially every time the oil is changed. Inspect the shocks, bushings, and mounts every time the oil is changed. Replace fluids in the differential and transmission on schedule, along with everything else. Check fasteners after off-road use or hauling. Perform alignments annually or after hitting potholes. Consistent care ensures smoother rides and fewer surprises down the road. And just realize the reality is any noise your vehicle's making, grinding, squealing, clunking, it's just sending you a signal that you can hear that you need to take care of it. You need to get it inspected. Stay safe, stay strong.